Coming up on MCTV this week, discover the Monmouth College events centered on Sexual Assault Awareness Month and learn about a new scholarship in visual arts. This week starts now. Welcome to MCTV this week. For Jack Godlewski, I'm Curtis Galloway. Victim Services in Macomb raised awareness on campus about domestic violence by displaying a clothesline project of t-shirts decorated by victims and their families. Saturday is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and victims advocate Jill Mann came to campus to highlight the problems of sexual assault on and off campuses. The Clothesline Project represents people from all backgrounds who have suffered from sexual assault. Mann hopes to increase awareness and encourage victims to speak up.
Well, studies have shown that about approximately 1 in 4 women will experience some sort of sexual violence in the course of their lives. Many of those, the highest risk is college-age females. So it is a problem. Also, about approximately 1 in 6 men will experience some sort of sexual abuse or sexual assault in the course of their lifetimes as well.
For more information about Victim Services, you can call 309-837-3941.
Last Friday, students gathered to take a stand against the different forms of assault. David Edge takes us to the event, Take Back the Night.
Take Back the Night was held in Mellinger Commons in the Center for Science and Business to raise awareness across the Monmouth community on issues of assault that take place not only on campuses around the globe, but on our own college campus. The event began with chants led by junior Johnny Williams, a performance by the Colorful Voices of Praise, and poem readings by various students.
It's not at a distant college that these things happen, but it happens on our college, and to at least 1 in 5 females by the time they are completing college, and 1 in 16 males, not to mention other particular groups.
The importance of these rallies and working together to put an end to sexual, relationship, and domestic violence in all forms was expressed throughout all medias of the event.
It's very important for people to understand that there is a line between supporting your friend and victim shaming, because although sometimes it may seem like you are supporting your friend, questions like, well, how much did you have to drink, what were you wearing, aren't necessarily supportive things to say.
Those partaking in the event were then invited outside for balloon releasing in honor of the victims of these issues.
I hope that people take away an awareness and that this issue affects a lot of people and that it's not something to be stigmatized or to be ashamed of, and that community is really a big part of this and healing is just a part of the process.
To become more informed on these topics, it has been suggested to visit the Women's Studies program on campus. For MCTV, I'm David Edge.
If you or someone you know is seeking help, please contact the Counseling Services in Poling Hall.
Monmouth College announced the first recipient of a new annual art scholarship. Last Tuesday, the Lobie Stone Visual Art Scholarship was given to junior art major Gabrielle General. The art department based the decision on the candidates' junior art portfolio websites, their contributions to the program, and their future aspirations in the visual arts. General's art can be seen on display on her online gallery and in the Hughes Library.
Monmouth College should be a place of great opportunity. So scholarships are very important, and my love has always been for the arts, for the fine arts, especially the visual arts. I did do a BFA in studio art, and I've always worked to advocate for the arts since I've been out of art school.
Art portfolio can be viewed at gabriellegeneral.weebly.com.
Tired of eating pizza every day for dinner and living an unhealthy lifestyle? Lily Guillen takes us through some nutrition information.
Last Wednesday, Lauren Wolfram, a registered dietitian, walked through the steps to staying healthy while in college. The topics included basic nutrition information, calorie control, energy supply, and recommended snacking habits.
People gain weight, so it is possible to try to eat healthy and in a cafeteria setting, in a buffet setting. It's not always the easiest, but it's doable, and it's just important too for kids to get active too while they're in college. And I know there's a lot of studying, but trying to even just get out on walks and get to the gym that usually is here. So it's possible, but it's easy to gain weight, I know.
Wolfram also mentioned that one of the biggest issues with trying to stay healthy is balancing healthy eating and exercise with a busy schedule, especially in college students. However, she emphasized that it is possible to find a balance.
It can be a challenge when you are very busy and feel like you don't have a lot of time, because a lot of times the easiest thing seems to be going to like a fast food restaurant or picking up something that's not healthy for us at all. But it really helps if there's a day of the week that you have a little bit of extra time to do a little bit of planning. That's the best thing you can do, is just to plan at least a week ahead to figure out like when you're going to eat what.
Some more tips that Wolfram suggested to the students to keep a healthy lifestyle are staying hydrated, lowering the amount of alcohol consumed, especially since it adds another load of calories to a person's diet, having dessert only one day a week, and snacking on foods like trail mix, Greek yogurt and granola, or string cheese. For MCTV, I'm Lily Guillen.
You can also visit rethinkingdrinking.gov to total up the amount of calories consumed weekly in alcoholic drinks, or visit myplate.gov for more nutritional information.
Tomorrow, the theater department puts on its final show of the year at the Fusion Theater. The Rover, which is first premiered in the 1670s, was performed at the Fusion Theater downtown. It follows multiple plot lines around a group of Englishmen causing trouble around Carnival. Written by a woman playwright, the show highlights issues about gender parity and women's control over their own bodies.
When we were looking at shows to do for this season, we realized that the shows we were going to do all were written by women playwrights. And with all of the discussions about gender parity in theater right now, it seemed only apt to do one of the only professional women playwrights of the Restoration Afro Ben. More than any other Restoration comedy, the women in The Rover have more agency than they do in others. So we see them having more control, or trying to have more control, which I think is interesting when we look at a lot of the contemporary connections for the play as well.
The Rover will be performed Thursday through Saturday night at 7:30 with a matinee at 2 on Sunday. Tickets can be purchased online at www.monmouthcollege.edu/box-office.
Taking a look at some events on campus this week. Tonight at 7 in the Moot Boardroom of the CSB, Chairman of the Board Bill Goldsboro will present a lecture titled Adulting 101, Cha-Ching. This talk will focus on managing money after college. Also, tonight at 7, public artist and community gardener Setu Jones will be presenting a lecture, Create, Eat, Art, and Act in honor of Earth Day. This talk will take place in the Pattee Auditorium of the CSB. Tomorrow through Sunday, the Monmouth College Department of Theater's final production of the season, The Rover, will be presented at the Fusion Theater. Tickets are $5 with an MCID.
Coming up after the break, we take a look at Fighting Scots softball as they look for their 10th conference victory. Monmouth softball took to the field last Tuesday for a doubleheader against in-state rivals Illinois College. Game 1 started off with loads of offense as Monmouth starting pitcher Liz Hippen and IC's Amanda Price struggled to take control of the game. Despite the Lady Blues' big offense in the first 2 innings, Hippen was able to give up just 2 runs and fight her way out of several jams. Being down 2-1 in the second, Monmouth's offense surged with hits off of Liz Hippen and Michaela Guthrie, advancing runners home and taking a 4-2 lead going into the third. Both teams would combine for a total of 20 hits, but the scoring was relatively low. Hippen and Price only surrendered a total of 6 runs. Monmouth would hold on to the victory 4-2 and take Game 1. Game 2 of this doubleheader started shortly after the conclusion of Game 1. The Fighting Scots defense became a great part of the game. Number 2, as starting pitcher Kayla Kurtz came out strong for the Scots. Freshman center fielder Angela Schomburg made this great catch in the first inning. Another great defensive play by the Scots as senior second baseman John Schultz scoops up this grounder and throws it to senior first baseman Emily Siefkin. However, the Scots were down 2-0 when Lady Blue Katie Prizer hits this home run. The Fighting Scots came back swinging in the bottom of the third as sophomore Kirsty Barton hits a single to advance the runner. The next play, sophomore Michaela Guthrie hits a single and junior Kirsten Osga gets into a pickle but is able to get out of it safely. Next up to bat is senior Charlotte Park, who smacks a blooper into left field to drive in base runner Kirsten Osga to tie the game at 2 apiece. Bottom of the fourth, Kirsten Osga is able to hit a double and score Emily Siefkin to take a 4-2 lead. Then the last inning of the game, sophomore Liz Hippen strikes out the last IC batter to give the Scots a 4-3 victory and a sweep of Illinois College.
I think a lot of our keys today came down to our hitting. We really wanted to get runners on base and then score those runners and have a lot of timely hits. We also really wanted to play really, really good defense because we knew they were going to hit the ball really well at us.
Sophomore Liz Hippen retired 3 straight batters to earn her 4th save of the season, tying Megan Butler for the program's season save record. With the sweep, Monmouth improved to 16-8 overall and 10-2 in the Midwest Conference. On Sunday, the Fighting Scots baseball team matched up against the Cornell College Rams. It was a long day out on the baseball diamond as the Scots prepared for the second of a doubleheader. With the wind blowing out of Gasglow Field, it was a batter's day. The Rams got on the board early with this RBI single by Eric Duback in the first inning. The Scots had their opportunity to answer in the third inning with the bases loaded, but failed to get a runner home on this sacrifice fly attempt by Austin Hardy. Cornell continued to build its lead, and in the fourth inning on this double by Duback and this triple by Bread, it wasn't until the 7th inning when the Scots finally got a run home on this 2 RBI single by Ryan Sparks. In the end, it wasn't enough, as the Scots were defeated by Cornell by a final of 19-2. Scots baseball hosts a doubleheader against rival Knox this Saturday with the first game starting at noon. That's it for sports. Here are the rest of the scores from this week. For MCTV, I'm Tyler Berneisen.
And I'm Jack Godlewski. Make sure you tune in next week for another new edition of MCTV This Week.
And I'm Curtis Galloway. You can also watch us on the web by going to monmouthcollege.edu/MCTV. See you next week.